Hello and welcome to Behind the Lens, an inside look at what it's like to gather TV news. I'm Stuart Pittman, Chief Photojournalist for QCN Plus, and I'm glad you're here. This week, we're going on safari. TV news. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Between the wild goose chases, cat fights, and camera hogs, you never know what creature might pass through your glass. From the stadium to the streets, animals of every size always get their close-up. Heffalumps and noozles, lions and llamas and bears.
Block them.
Oh my.
Is the camera okay?
Well, the camera's okay, but after that lion peed in my face, I don't know that I'll ever be the same. I'm kidding. That was just another day behind the TV news lens, a wondrous instrument that can lead you straight through the gate of the animal kingdom. Here to tell me about that are two friends and colleagues, Brian Christensen and Kevin Pinto, two mysterious creatures all in themselves. How you doing, fellas?
Even better now, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing great now that I know you got peed in the face.
Yeah, well, you know, there's that. We'll get to that. But first I wanted to start with Brian, who has earned a reputation, among other things, as being quite the snake charmer. And I need you to tell me what that's all about.
It's spring. Snakes are everywhere. And whenever I'm with a reporter in the spring, I always, oh, look, there's a snake.
Right.
And the reporters I'm with, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to come back to this park again.
Right.
The snakes are always there. You just have to look for them.
Well, unlike a lot of people, you're not afraid to grab them and put them in a better area, right?
Right. That's a black rat snake. That's also, coincidentally, I was working with Maureen Wirtz.
Yeah.
I haven't worked with her since then either, which is really kind of weird.
Well, who knows? Who knows what that's all about? But it's amazing how many snakes you do come across. That's not a snake. That's a lemur.
That's a lemur. 2020, that there was that little lockdown thing going on. So we were sent to different places just to get some fun video of zoos, whatever, to give the audience something fun to watch. And anyway, there's that. Just about a week later, I'm driving down the street, getting some video of some trash alongside of the road, and there's a stray puppy. And wow, we're just going to
keep talking about the puppy.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't worry about the video. We'll get to those later.
But anyway,
what about the puppy?
Oh, so I scooped the puppy up because it obviously was homeless. It had nails like, really like vampires.
Wow.
I dropped it off at the pound, and apparently the day after it was adopted. So
wow,
it was a good story.
Using your power for good, not evil.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of people who've done like animal stories and ended up like adopting, right, the dogs and the cats.
I've heard that.
Someone in our station, they brought in cats recently, didn't they? And Ryan, photographer at Positively Charlotte, he adopted the cat.
Right.
So this ends up happening a lot, where people just end up adopting them or taking them or whatever.
Which is a great thing. And I think there's been a long generations of newsrooms fostering cats out back and dogs and animals and all that kind of thing. Snakes.
Probably not.
I'm not a snake.
No, you didn't take a lemur home?
No, I think they were, chipped and everything.
You could have snuck. Yeah, you could have snuck it and took out the chip.
Right. Yeah.
I would have. Having a lemur would be pretty cool.
I don't know if we can pull the video up, but I do know that among your many adventures, Brian, you were clawed by a panther.
I was, and it was not at a NFL game.
Right there, yeah.
Little tiny baby panther, and
That's
you can't
why
see
we
him.
answer you?
But as soon as you see its eyes, it is jumping, lunging at my face. Fortunately,
Right.
I've got a good plastic surgeon. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it had these like little claw protectors, like they're plastic something. But one of them punctured my face.
There we
And so anyway, to give proof that it wasn't just a black cat in the background, it truly was or is.
It does look just like a little baby
right,
cat.
I know, I'm like,
yeah.
perspective and everything.
Yeah, it's because you have a big head. Yeah.
Thanks. But yes, I can say that I got clawed in the face by a panther.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty cool.
LinkedIn.
Not everybody can say that. I've worked with the North Carolina Zoo for a number of years, helping produce some of their zoo stories, and had access to all kinds of animals, big and small and smelly and grumpy, and everything from goats and ostriches and turtles and pigs and kangaroos and puffins and elephants and everything in between.
Good job, Noah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, are puffins real?
Yeah, my collection is quite something. But it was always so much fun. I remember the yearly tradition of going to the zoo where they would feed the gorillas pumpkins because it's the fall.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and your assignment of the day is watch watch a gorilla tear into a pumpkin.
Not the other way around.
I would love to see a pumpkin tear into a gorilla.
Well, it depends on how long you sit
Yeah,
there
I mean-
and stare at it. Yeah. But most times you're on deadline and you can't hang out that far. But I love encountering animals. And I think every camera operator who's been doing this for any amount of time has some stories or to tell. There was a picture of you just then with a small bird in your hand. What's that all about?
Yeah, no, there's a couple pictures of me throughout here. So, the bird one was pretty cool. I did that story here.
Yeah.
And it was like a bird farm or something or whatever. But yeah, I messed with that and little baby ducks and all the other stuff. And I had them walk over my camera, got a little creative with it. And then they were like, hey, you want to play with this baby one? I was like, heck yeah. They ended up sitting in my camera lens at one point because they were hiding from the shade.
Right.
And so they just came and crawled into the lens and just sat there.
Yeah.
But it almost ended up stepping on one. One screamed at me before I did so. Don't worry. But he was like, squeaking, whatever they do.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, oh God, you're gonna step on me. He's like, what are you under my shadow for? But it was kind of hot. So
You're like the baby mama. You know the language and everything.
exactly. I said no. Yeah, we had a whole conversation.
That's good.
So yeah, there's that, and then in Texas, I got to hold snakes, and they always put snakes around you. That was like their thing. They just loved it.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind that. Holding alligators and all the other stuff.
Right.
And then Colorado, there's a clip somewhere where it's I covered the Buff games, and they have the buffalo that runs on the field. And there's a bunch of college kids, I think, that like wrangle him, and they sprint him around the stadium, and it's super fun, super hilarious because these guys are like, you can't hold a buffalo.
No.
It's like 4 or 5 of these guys, and they just falling on the ground. It is hilarious.
The landmines alone, that would be like terrible.
Yeah, on the field and everything
Yeah.
too. That was one of the cooler things. I got to meet the Bronco,
Yeah.
if you will. And so he was pretty cool. But I mean, the buffalo was probably one of my favorite animal encounters.
Yeah.
Just
Well, animals as
seeing a truck
mascots.
pull.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone had asked me about did I in fact get zinged by a lion, and I wanted to show that video and sort of get that out of the way.
So, Stuart, there's a little something there in the middle of your lens.
Yeah, there is a little something there in the middle of the lens. It's I think it's what you call lion urine. I was at a roadside zoo with some very nice people, and they were showing me where to get video of the lion right here. And
where to
holy
get-
moly, he
and
zings
where to
me.
get it
There was
in
a
your
little
lens.
there was a little hole in the fence where he was used to urinating through. He did just that. Hit me right in the lens and the glasses in the forehead, and I stepped away for a moment, not trying to make too big a deal about it, but the nice lady escorting me through the process suddenly became not that nice and thought I should just get over it. And I was glad to get over it, but if you'll give me just a moment, I might want to wipe the lion urine off my lens.
Oh, so you shoot to the right there, and all of a sudden, yeah, it's right in your face.
Oh, yeah. See what I'm
okay.
saying? Just give me a second. Just
You
one
know-
second. I'm going to wipe this off.
Did it
You
smell?
You are an artist. You are everything that
My
you
gosh.
produce, everything that every camera angle always has a purpose.
Oh, clearly.
This does not. And you can tell that something is really, really wrong.
Well, I just think unwanted wildlife urine at the center of your lens says an awful lot about what it's like to be a folk dog. And I don't mean that in a derisive manner.
You're not lying.
No, I'm not.
Sorry.
There it is. Yeah.
There we go. Hey.
So
Still
we're
looking
supposed to wear rain gear. I guess you didn't expect to have rain gear that day.
It was a sunny day. I was there for about 15 minutes. Always,
And then it rained.
always under deadline. So I didn't see it coming, but here it went. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. At any rate,
I can't say I've ever been peed on by an animal like that, especially.
Well,
That's fun.
Was OSHA paperwork ever done or anything like that?
no, I pretty much just wiped it off and kept going. Like I said, I was under deadline, so who has time? Who has time? Speaking of time, we're running out of time, and we're going to be back in a few minutes with a guy who knows just what it's like to drag many a camera crew through a zoo. And we're back to Behind the Lens. And this week we're talking about camera crews' encounters with animals. And if you're a part of the camera crew, you know what I mean, because it's impossible to walk around with a camera on your shoulder or in your possession and not, for some reason, encounter animals both wild, tame, escaped, captured. It's a whole plethora of experiences. But one person who knows more about camera crews and animals than anybody I can even think of is my good dear friend Rod Hackney, former public relations manager for the North Carolina Zoo. Rod, welcome to Behind the Lens.
Great to be with you again, Stuart. It's been a while.
It has been a while, Rod. For about 16 years, I was fortunate enough to shoot stories at the North Carolina Zoo for the What's New at the Zoo and the Zoo Files franchises that aired across the state. You, of course, wrote those pieces and put them all together, and I just kind of showed up and shot the video. But because of that, I have had just wonderful, wonderful experiences at the North Carolina Zoo with you and all kinds of animals. And Rod, I shudder to think how many camera crews you yourself have introduced to exotic animals. Any particular stories of reporters gone crazy or squirrels gone wild, anything like that?
Well, I've got a couple from actually the Zoo Files. If you remember, after you and I did them for a while, a gentleman by the name of Terry Shields.
Yes.
From right there in Charlotte, did them with me for 17 years. We shot over 500 segments.
Wow.
And we had some experiences. I remember maybe it was the first year or two that we were doing the series. We were doing a piece on elephants, and we were down at the lower elephant overlook at the zoo.
Right.
And Terry decided to go outside the regular visitor barrier there and shoot, because for some reason he thought it would be better footage. And Cesar, our oldest male elephant, who is now, by the way, the oldest male elephant in the United States. He's 52 years old. But anyway, he was standing out there, and it had rained recently, and there was a lot of Randolph County red clay standing there in the foreground there.
Right.
And so Terry was shooting close-ups of Cesar, and Cesar reaches down with his trunk and picks up a clod of mud about the size of a softball.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Terry, you need to back up. He's going to hit you with the mud. And Terry didn't believe me. And about 20 seconds later, Cesar let go with his trunk and hit Terry's $70,000 Sony TV camera right in the lens. Ooh. With a big clump of red mud. Ooh. So after that, Terry started paying attention when I gave him a warning. But we've had some really funny experiences with the zoo animals over the years. I remember.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I
remember another.
Go.
I remember another occasion. We had it. This would have been also maybe the third or fourth year that we were doing the Zoo File series, and we had a pregnant female gorilla, and so Terry and I were shooting a segment on that, and he was up on top of the rock boundary that goes around the gorilla exhibit.
Yeah.
And he was leaning over to get a shot of the male, who was the father, and his rubber eyepiece fell into the exhibit.
Ooh.
And the male came right over and picked it up and was looking at it. And so we called the keeper and said, we've got a problem. And the keeper, when we explained what had happened, the keeper said, don't worry, I'll be out in a second. So he comes out, and there's wire mesh in several locations around the edge of this rock fence barrier. And it has squares about 3 inches in rectangular. And so he brings out a carrot, and he sticks it through the grate where they do their training, and said, Nick Trade. The gorilla's name was Nicola, but we called him Nick. And he said, Nick Trade. So the gorilla comes over to the wire, and he looks at the carrot, and then he looks at this rubber eyepiece, which, as you know, is fairly large.
Yeah.
And he figured that it wouldn't fit through the squares in the mesh.
Right.
So, swear to God, he folded it so that it would fit through the mesh in exchange for the carrot. So that's just one of hundreds, but it does show you the intelligence of gorillas and apes in general.
I remember, and who could forget this, being part of a gorilla surgery. It may have been just another day at the office for you, but I was escorted into a small building with about what felt like 15 zookeepers and the doctors and the gorilla who's sedated but still kind of mumbling on the table.
Right.
And I remember, I think I remember someone there with a rifle saying, "Hey, if things start getting hectic, we need you to walk out of the room." And I'm thinking, you ain't got to tell me
Well,
twice.
and yeah, I've been in there many times with gorillas and many other large carnivores like
Yeah.
lions and so forth when they were doing procedures, because those were some of the most favorite segments we did with the zookeepers was behind the scenes with the veterinarians.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when one of those things wakes up during the procedure, you better be getting out of the way. So
I would have.
I can't tell you the dozens and dozens and dozens of those kind of things that I did over the years.
Well, in just the times that I visited the North Carolina Zoo, which felt countless, I had some wonderful experiences. And I've got to say, the North Carolina Zoo is a state and national treasure that not enough people still know about. And I'm going to sell their soap till the end of time because it's just a great, beautiful place. And I've had so many adventures with you there.
This past year, we were voted by USA Today as the best zoo in the United States. And we're also the largest zoo in the world. People don't realize that. But it's right there in the center of North Carolina, just outside of Asheboro.
Yeah. One of my favorite zoo memories is the zookeepers, for very good reasons, take their jobs very seriously. And I will never forget the sweetest old volunteer lady yelling at me for scaring the birds. Something I was doing was frightening the birds, and I've never been yelled at for scaring birds before, but it just blazoned into my brain, and for some reason will never forget that.
Yeah, well, the keepers, to them, the animals become like family.
You can tell that. Spend some time around them.
If you do something to upset one of their animals, it's like you're upsetting, their niece or nephew. So they very much take it serious when you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing with the animals.
Right. No, I would compare them to like the officials who work the sidelines of a Panthers game, and if you wander into the wrong space, they're going to grab you and jerk you out of the way. Same vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Same vibe.
Yeah.
Rod, this has gone faster than I hoped, man, but I just wanted to get a couple of stories from you about camera crews and wild animals and captured animals and all that, because we've had a lot of fun, and we're going to talk some more in our next segment about just random encounters. You can imagine a camera guy might stumble across a stray dog once in a while who doesn't want him in his yard.
Absolutely.
Or any kind of things. And I've been lucky enough to be around a lot of crazy, big, exotic animals, usually in the presence of you. And I just want you to know that I greatly appreciate it. It's something I will think about forever and enjoy the pictures. And I have enjoyed our time together. And once again, I would encourage everyone, go to the North Carolina Zoo. It's a fantastic place. And Rod Hackney.
And, I'm still, even after all these years, I'm volunteering over there. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be working at the elephant exhibit, in imbibing the youth of our state on the importance of wildlife conservation. So, I'm going to be there for about 5 hours tomorrow. I've been doing that for about the last 8 years.
Well, that's a drum you've beat for as long as I have known you, so it makes sense to me that you're still on the case. And Rod, thank you, man. I greatly appreciate this. We're going to check back with you sometime when we have some more animal questions here on Behind the Lens.
Well, absolutely. I'd love to do it. And Stuart, it's always great to see you. We've worked together for a long time.
Many moons.
I really appreciate everything you did for the zoo.
I was glad to do it. Going to the zoo and doing a story on the animal beats covering a drive-by shooting. So I was never unhappy to be there.
I'm sure. Having covered drive-by shootings and other things of that nature when I was a reporter for the Greensboro News and Record, I can greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Rod, thank you so much. We will see you next time, and we will be right back. From famous fish to gotten goats to lost ocelots, carry a TV news camera around for very long, and you'll point it at them all. But it's a rat race out there, and if you're not careful, every other news shift can feel like Groundhog Day. So develop a specialty, find a purpose, do some good. Serving your community will feel better than any deadline you've ever met. You could try an animal shelter. Go visit, volunteer. There's a lot of love there just waiting to be had. Anywho, that's this episode of Behind the Lens, an inside look at Gathering TV news. We'll see you next time.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.